Dhritarashtra said. They say that the Pandavas have arrived at Upaplavya. Go thou and inquire after them. Thou must greet Ajatasattu in the following words. By good luck it is that thou hast reached such a city, and to all of them thou must say these words. Are ye well, having spent that harassing period of sojourn, ye who were unworthy of such harassment? In no time will they be appeased towards us, for Thog treated treacherously, yet they are righteous and good. In no case have I ever met with an untruthfulness on the part of the Pandavas. It was by their own valor that they had won all their prosperity, and they were ever dutiful to me. Thog, I scrutinized their conduct. I could never find fault with them. No, not even a single fault for which we might blame them. They always act mindful of virtue and wealth. They never give way to love of sensual enjoyments, or cold, or hunger, or thirst. They subdue sleep and laziness, and wrath, and joy, and heedlessness. The sons of Tritiha, mindful of both virtue and wealth, are ever pleasant to all. On proper occasions they part with their wealth to friends. Friendship with them never loses its ardor on account of length of time, for they bestow honors and wealth on every one according to his deserts. Not a soul in the race of Ajamida ever entertains hatred for them excepting this vile, capricious, dull-headed Duryodhana, and excepting the still more mean-minded Karna. These two always enhance the energy of those high-souled ones who have been divested of both friends and happiness, enterprising and brought up in every indulgence. Duryodhana owns all that to be well done. It is childish on Duryodhana's part to think that it is possible to rob the Pandavas of their just share so long as they are alive. It is wise to yield to Yudhishthira his due share before the war, to him whose steps are followed by Arjuna and Krishna and Bhishma and Satyaki and the two sons of Madri and the warriors of the Sanjaya race. That elder of the Gandiva, Savyasakhi, seated on his car, would alone be able to devastate the whole world, and likewise the victorious and high-souled Krishna, the Lord of the three worlds, incapable of defeat, is able to do the same. What mortal would stand before him who is the unworthiest person in all the world, and who discharges his multitude of arrows that hover like the clouds, covering all sides like flights of swiftly coursing locusts? Alone on his car, holding the Gandiva, he had conquered the northern region as also the Kurus of the north, and brought away with him all their wealth. He converted the people of the Dravida land to be a portion of his own arm. It was Falguna, the elder of the Gandiva, who, defeating in the Kihandava woods all the gods together with Indra, made offerings to Agni, enhancing the honor and fame of the Pandavas. Of all elders again, of the mace, there is none equal to Bhishma, and there is none also who is so skillful rider of elephants. On Kar, they say, he yields not to even Arjuna, and as to might of arms, he is equal to 10,000 elephants, well trained and active. He who have again been handled bitterly hostile, would in anger consume the Dhritarashtra's in no time. Always wrathful and strong of arms, he is not capable of being subdued impatiently by even Indra himself, of great heart and strong, and endowed with great lightness of hand. The two brothers, sons of Madri, carefully trained by Arjuna, would leave not a foe alive, like to a pair of hawks preying upon large flocks of birds. These our arm, so full, to tell thee the truth, will be now here when it will encounter them. In their side will be the Ristariyumna, and with great activity, on who is regarded as one of the Pandavas themselves. The chief of the Somaka tribe, with his followers, is, I have heard, so devoted to the cause of the Pandavas that he is ready to lay down his very life for them, who won't be able to withstand Yudhishthira, who have the best of the Vrishni tribe for his leader. I have heard that Virata, the chief of the Matsuyas, with whom the Pandavas have lived for some time and whose wishes were fulfilled by them, old in years, is devoted along with his sons to the Pandava cause, and have become an adherent of Yudhishthira, deposed from the throne of the Kekaya land, and desirous of being installed thereon. The 5 mighty brothers from that land, yielding mighty bows, are now following the sons of Pritha, ready to fight. All who are valiant among the laws of the earth have been brought together and are devoted to the Pandava cause. I hear that they are both worthy and respectful. They who have allied themselves to the virtuous King Yudhishthira from feelings of attachment to him, and many warriors dwelling on the hills and inaccessible fastnesses, and many that are high in lineage and old in years, and many Malekha tribes, also yielding weapons of various kinds, have been assembled together and are devoted to the cause of Pandavas. And there have come Pandya also, who, hardly inferior to Indra on the field of battle, is followed when he fights by numberless warriors of great courage, remarkably heroic, and endowed with prowess and energy that have no parallel. He is devoted to the Pandava cause. That same Satyaki, who, I have heard, obtained weapons from Drona, and Arjuna, and Krishna, and Kripa, and Bhishma, and who is said to be equal to the son of Krishna, is devotedly attached to the Pandava cause. And the assembled kings of the Heli and the Karusha tribes have all taken the part of the Pandavas with all their resources. That on in their midst, who, having been endowed with blazing beauty, shone like the sun, whom all persons deemed unassailable in battle, and the very best of all drawers of the bow on earth, was slain by Krishna in a trice, by help of his own great might, and counting for naught the bold spirit of all the Kshatriya kings. Kesava cast his eyes on that Sishupala and smote him, enhancing the fame and honor of the sons of Pandu. It was the same Sishupala who was highly honored by those kings at whose head stood the king of the Karusha tribe. Then the other kings, deeming Krishna unassailable, when seated on his car drawn by Sugriva and other steeds, left the sheaf of the heads, and ran away like small animals at the sight of a lion. And it was thus that he who from audacity had sought to oppose and encounter Krishna in a combat hand to hand was slain by Krishna and lay down lifeless, resembling a Karnikara tree uprooted by God. What they have told me of the activity of Krishna in cause of Pandu's sons, and what I remember of his past achievements, leave me no peace of mind, no foe whatsoever is capable of withstanding them, who are under the lead of that lion of the Vrishni tribe. My heart is trembling with fear upon learning that the two Krishnas are seated on the self-same car. If Madhu had that son forbid to fight with those two, then may he farewell, else those two will consume the race of Kuru, as Indra and Upendra consume the Daitya hosts. The Dhananjaya is, a conceive, equal to Indra, and the greatest of the Krishna haze. Krishna is the eternal Vishnu himself, the son of Kunti, and Pandu, Yudhishthira, is virtuous and brave, and eschews deeds that bring on shame, and that with great energy he hath been wronged by Duryodhana. If he were not high-minded, he would in wrath burn the Dhritarashtra's. I do not so much dread Arjuna, or Bhishma, or Krishna, or the twin brothers, as I dread the wrath of the king, when his wrath is excited. His austerities are great, he is devoted to Brahmacharya practice. His heart wishes will certainly be fulfilled. When I think of his wrath, and consider how just it is, I am filled with alarm. Go thou speedily on a car, dispatched by me, where the troops of the king of the Panchalas are encamped. Thou wilt ask Yudhishthira about his welfare. Thou wilt repeatedly address him in affectionate terms. Thou wilt also meet Krishna, who is the chief of all brave men, and who is endowed with a magnanimous soul. Him also thou wilt ask on my part as to his welfare, and tell him that Dhritarashtra is desirous of peace with Pandu's sons. There is nothing that Yudhishthira, the son of Kunti, will not do at the bidding of Krishna. Kesava is as dear to them as their own selves. Possessed of great learning, he is ever devoted to their cause. Thou wilt also inquire about the welfare of all the assembled sons of Pandu, and the Srinjayas, and Satyaki, and Virata, and all the 5 sons of Draupadi, professing to be a messenger from me, and whatsoever also thou mayest deem to be opportune and beneficial for the Mahabharata race. All that thou must say in the midst of those kings, everything in sooth that may not be unpalatable or provocative of war. Having heard these words of King Dhritarashtra, Sanjaya went to Upaplavia to see the Pandavas of immeasurably strength, and having approached King Yudhishthira, the son of Kunti, he made obeisance to him first, and then spoke. And the son of Gavalgana, by name Sanjaya, and by caste Asuta, cheerful, spoke unto Ajatasattu. How look that I see you all, attended by friends and little inferior to the great Indra. The aged and wise King Dhritarashtra, the son of Ambika, have inquired about your welfare. I hope Bhishmasena is well, and that Dhananjaya, that foremost of the Pandavas, and these 2 sons of Madri are well. I hope Prince Krishna also, the daughter of Drupada, is well, she who never swerves from the path of truth, that lady of great energy, that wife of heroes. I hope she is well with her sons, she in whom are centered all your dearest joys, and whose welfare you constantly pray for. Yudhishthira said, Have thy journey here been safe? We are pleased with thy sight. I ask thee in return how thou art. I am in excellent health with my younger brothers. After a long while, I now receive news of the aged king of the Kurus, that descendant of Mahabharata. Having seen thee, I feel as if I have seen the king himself, so pleased I am. Is our aged grandsire Bhishma, the descendant of Kuru, endowed with great energy and the highest wisdom, and always devoted to the practice of his own order, in health. I hope he still retains all his former habits. I hope the high-souled King Dhritarashtra, the son of Vikhitravirya, is in health with his sons. I hope the great King Valika, the son of Pratipa, and with great learning, is also in health. I hope that Somadatta is in health, and Bihu his Ravas, and Satya Sandhya, and Sala, and Drona with his son, and the Brahmana Kripa are also well. I hope all those might bowmen are free from disease, all those greatest and best of bowmen, and with the highest intelligence invested in ladders, and occupying the very top of those who yield weapons, have attached themselves to the Kurus. I hope those bowmen receive their honors duly. I hope they are free from disease. How happy are they in whose kingdom dwells the mighty and handsome bowman, the well-behaved son of Drona. I hope Yuyutsu, the highly intelligent son of Dhritarashtra, by his Vaisya wife, is in health. I hope the advisor Karna, whose counsels are followed by the dual-headed Suyoddhana, is in health. I hope the aged ladies, the mothers of the Bharata race, and the kitchen maidens, the bond maids, the doctors-in-law, the boys, the sisters, sons, and the sisters, and the doctors, sons of the Dhritarashtra house, are all free from trouble. I hope the king still allows their former subsistence to the Brahmanas. I hope the Dhritarashtra's son have not seized those gifts to the Brahmanas that are made. I hope the Dhritarashtra with his sons meets in a spirit of forbearance and overbearing conduct on the part of the Brahmanas. I hope he never neglects to make provision for them, that being the sole highway to heaven, for this is the excellent and clear light that have been provided by the Creator in this world of living beings. If, like dual-headed persons, the sons of Kuru do not treat the Brahmanas in a forbearing spirit, wholesale destruction will overtake them. I hope King Dhritarashtra and his son try to provide for the functionaries of state. I hope there are no enemies for theirs who, disguised as friends, are conspiring for their ruin. I hope none of these Kurus talk of or having committed any crimes. I hope Drona and his son and the heroic Kripa do not talk of or having been guilty in any way. I hope all the Kurus look up to King Dhritarashtra and his sons as the protectors of their tribe. I hope when they see a horde of robbers, they remember the deeds of Arjuna, the leader in our fields of battle. I hope they remember the arrows shot from the Gandiva, which coursed through the air in a straight path, impelled onwards by the stretched bowstring in contact with the fingers of his hand, and making a noise loud as that of the thunder. I have not seen the warrior that excels or even rivals Arjuna, who can shoot by a single effort of his hand 60 unwetted and keen-edged shafts furnished with excellent feathers. Do they remember Bhishma, who, endowed with great activity, causeth hostile hosts, arrived impatiently to tremble in dread, like an elephant with hand temples, agitating a forest of reeds? Do they remember the mighty Sahadeva, the son of Madri, who in Dantakura conquered the Kalingas, shooting arrows by both the left and the right hand? Do they remember Nakula, who was sent under your eye to conquer the Sibis and the Trigarthas, and who brought the western region under my power? Do they remember the disgrace that was theirs when, under evil counsels, they came to the woods of the Vaitavana on pretence of taking away their cattle? Those wicked ones, having been overpowered by their enemies, were afterwards liberated by Bhishmasena and Arjuna, myself protecting the rear of Arjuna, and Bhishma protecting the rear of the sons of Madri, and the elder of the Gandiva coming out unharmed from the press of battle, having made a great slaughter of the hostile host. Do they remember that? It is not by a single good deed that happiness can here be attained, when by our endeavors we are unable to win over the son of Dhritarashtra. Sanjaya said, "It is even so as thou hast said. Dost thou inquire about the welfare of the Kurus and of the foremost ones among them, free from illness of every kind, and in the possession of excellent spirit are those foremost ones among the Kurus, about whom thou inquirest? Know that there are certainly righteous and aged men, as also men that are sinful and wicked about Dhritarashtra's son. Dhritarashtra's son won't make gift even to his enemies. It is not likely, therefore, that he should withdraw the donations made to the Brahmanas. It is customary with you, Kshatriyas, to follow a rule fit for butchers, that leads you to do harm to those that bear no ill will to you. But the practice is not good. Dhritarashtra with his sons won't be guilty of the sin of intestine dissension, were he, like a bad man, to bear ill will towards you who are righteous. He does not approve of this injury. He is exceedingly sorry for it. He grieves at his heart, the old man, for having communicated with the Brahmanas, he hath learned that provoking intestine dissensions is the greatest of all sins. They remember thy prowess on the field, and that of Arjuna, who taketh the lead in the field of battle. They remember Bhima yielding his mace when the sound of the conch shell and the drum rise to the highest pitch. They remember those mighty warriors, the two sons of Madri, who on the field of battle carry in all directions, shooting incessant showers of shafts on hostile hosts, and who know not what it is to tremble in fight. I believe that which futurity hath in store for a particular person cannot be known, since thou, who art endowed with all the virtues, hast had to suffer trouble of such an endurable kind. All these, no doubt, thou wilt again make up by help of your intelligence. The sons of Pandu are equal to Indra, would never abandon virtue for the sake of pleasure. Thou wilt so make up thy intelligence that they are the sons of Dhritarashtra and Pandu and the Srinjayas and all the kings who have been assembled here will attain peace. Hear what thy sire, Dhritarashtra, having consulted with his ministers and sons, hath spoken to me. Be attentive to the same. Yudhishthira said, "Here are meet the Pandavas and the Srinjayas, and Krishna, and Yudhishthira, and Virata. Tell us all that Dhritarashtra hath directed thee to say." Sanjaya said, "I greet Yudhishthira, and Vrikodara, and Dhananjaya, and the two sons of Madri, and Vasudeva, the descendant of Sura, and Satyaki, and the aged ruler of the Panchalas, and Dhristaryumna, the son of Prishata. Let all listen to those I say from a desire for the welfare of the Kurus." King Dhritarashtra, eagerly welcoming the chance of peace, hastened the preparation of matar for this journey here. Let it be acceptable to King Yudhishthira, with his brothers and sons and relations. Let the son of Pandu prefer peace. The sons of Pritha are endowed with every virtue, with steadiness and mildness and candor. Born in a high family, they are humane, liberal, and loath to do an act which would bring on shame. They know what is proper to be done. A base deed is not befitting you, for you are so high-minded, and have such a terribly following of troops. If you committed a sinful act, it would be a blot on your fair name, as a drop of collyrium on a white cloth. Who would knowingly be ever guilty of an act which would result in universal slaughter, which would be sinful and lead to hell, an act consisting in the destruction, an act the result of which, whether it be victory or defeat, is of the self-same value. Blessed are they that have served their relative cause. They are the true sons and friends and relatives, who would lay down life, life which is liable to be abused by misdeeds, in order to ensure the welfare of the Kurus. If you, ye sons of Pritha, chastise the Kurus by defeating and slaying all your foes, that subsequent life of yours would be equivalent to death. For what, in sooth, is life after having killed all your king's folk, who, even if he were Indra himself with all the gods on his side, would be able to defeat you, who are aided by Kesava and Hekitanas and Satyaki, and are protected by Diristariumna arms, who again can defeat impotently the Kurus, who are protected by Drona and Bhisma and Asvatihaman and Salia and Kripa and Karna with a host of Kshatriya kings, who, without loss to himself, is able to slay the vast force assembled by Dhritarashtra's son. Therefore it is that I do not see any good either in victory or in defeat. How can the sons of Pritha, like base persons of low lineage, commit an act of unrighteousness? Therefore I prostrate myself before Krishna and the aged king of the Pankhalas. I betake myself to you as my refuge with joined hands, so that both the Kurus and the Srinjayas may be benefited. It is not likely that either Krishna or Dhananjaya will not act up to these my words. Either of them would lay down his life, if besought. Therefore, I say this for the success of my mission. This is the desire of the king and his counselor, Bhisma, that there may be confirmed peace between you. Yudhishthira said, What words from me hast thou heard, indicative of war, that thou apprehendest war? Peace is preferable to war. Who, having got the other alternative, would wish to fight? It is known to me that, if a man can have every wish of his heart without having to do anything, he would hardly like to do anything, even talk. It might be of the least troublesome kind. Far less would he engage in war. Why should a man ever go to war, who is so cursed by the gods that he would select war? The sons of Pritha, no doubt, desire their own happiness, but their conduct is ever marked by righteousness and conducive to the good of the world. They desire only that happiness which results from righteousness. He that fondly followeth the lead of his senses, and is desirous of obtaining happiness and avoiding misery, betaketh himself to action which in its essence is nothing but misery. He that hankers after pleasure causeth his body to suffer. On free from such hankering knoweth not what misery is. As an enkindled fire, if more fuel be put upon it, blazeth forth again with augmented force. So desire is never satiated with the acquisition of its object, but gaineth force like unkindled fire when clarified butter is poured upon it. Compare all this abundant fount of enjoyment which King Dhritarashtra hath with what we possess. He that is unfortunate never winneth victories, He that is unfortunate enjoyeth not the voice of music. He that is unfortunate doth not enjoy garlands and incense, nor can one that is unfortunate enjoy cool and fragrant unguents. And finally, he that is unfortunate weareth not fine clothes. If this were not so, we would never have been driven from the chorus. Our talk, however, all this is true, yet none cherisheth torments of the heart. The king being himself in trouble seeketh protection in the might of others. This is not wise. Let him, however, receive from others the same behavior that he displays towards them. The man who casteth a burning fire at midday in the season of spring in a forest of dense underwood, hath certainly, when that fire blazeth forth by aid of the wind, to grieve for his lot, if he wisheth to escape. Why doth King Dhritarashtra now bewail? Outog, he hath all this prosperity. It is because he had followed at first the counsels of his wicked son of vicious soul, addicted to crooked ways and confirmed in folly. Duryodhana disregarded the words of Vidyura, the best of his well-wishers, as if the latter were hostile to him. King Dhritarashtra, desirous solely of satisfying his sons, unknowingly entered upon an unrighteous course. Indeed, on account of his fondness for his son, he would not pay heed to Vidyura, who, out of all the Kurus, is the wisest and best of all his well-wishers, possessing vast learning, clever in speech, and righteous in act. King Dhritarashtra is desirous of satisfying his son, who, while himself seeking honors from others, is envious and wrathful, who transgresses the rules for the acquisition of virtue and wealth, whose tongue is foul, who always follows the dictates of his wrath, whose soul is absorbed in sensual pleasures, and who, full of unfriendly feelings to many, obeys no law, and whose life is evil, hurt implacably, and understanding vicious. For such a son as this, King Dhritarashtra knowingly abandoned virtue and pleasure. Even then, when I was engaged in that game of dice, I thought that the destruction of the Kurus was at hand. For when speaking those wise and excellent words, Vidyura obtained no praise from Dhritarashtra. Then did trouble overtake the Kurus when they disregarded the words of Vidyura, so long as they had placed themselves under the lead of his wisdom. Their kingdom was in a flourishing state. Hear from me, who are the counselors now of the covetous Duryodhana. They are Dusasana and Sihakuni, the son of Suvala, and Karna, the Suta's son. Look at this folly of his. So I do not see talk, I think about it. How there can be prosperity for the Kurus and the Srinjayas when the Dhritarashtra have taken the throne from others, and the far-seeing Vidyura have been banished elsewhere. Dhritarashtra, with his sons, is now looking for an extensive and undisputed sovereignty over the whole world. Absolute peace is, therefore, unattainable. He regardeth what he hath already got to be his own. When Arjuna taketh up his weapon in fight, Karna believeth him capable of being withstood. Formerly there took place many great battles. Why could not Karna then be of any avail to them? It is known to Karna and Drona and the grandsire Bhishma, as also to many others Kurus, that there is no yielder of the bow, comparably to Arjuna. It is known to all the assembled rulers of the earth, how the sovereignty was obtained by Duryodhana, although that oppressor of foes, Arjuna, was alive. Pertinaciously doth Dhritarashtra's son believe that, It is possible to rob the sons of Pandu of what is their own. Outog he knoweth, having himself gone to the place of fight, how Arjuna comforted himself when he had nothing but a bow 4 cubits long for his weapon of battle. Dhritarashtra's sons are alive simply because they have not as yet heard the twang of the stretched Gandiva. Duryodhana believeth his object already gained, as long as he beholdeth not the wrathful Bhishma. Even Indra won't forbear to rob us of our sovereignty as long as Bhishma and Arjuna and the heroic Nakula and the patient Sahadeva are alive. The old king with his son still entertains the notion that his sons will not be perished on the field of battle, consumed by the fiery wrath of Pandu's sons. Thou knowest what misery we have suffered. For my respect to thee, I won't forgive them all. Thou knowest what transpired between ourselves and those sons of Kuru. Thou knowest how we comforted ourselves towards Dhritarashtra's son. Let the same state of things still continue. I shall seek peace, as thou counsellest me to do. Let me have Indra Prastha for my kingdom. Let this be given to me by Duryodhana, the chief of Bharata race. Sanjaya said, the world have heard thy conduct, being righteous. I see it also to be so. Life is transient, that may end in great infamy. Considering this, thou shalt not perish. If without war, the Kurus will not yield thy share. I think it is far better for thee to live upon alms in the kingdom of the Andihakas and the Vrishnis than obtain sovereignty by war. Since this mortal existence is for on a short period, and greatly liable to blame, subject to constant suffering and unstable, and since it is never comparable to a good name, therefore never perpetrate a sin. It is the desires which adhere to mortal men and are an obstruction to a virtuous life. Therefore, a wise man should beforehand kill them all and thereby gain a stainless fame in the world. The thirst after wealth is like fetter in this world. The virtue of those that seek it is sure to suffer. He is wise who seeketh virtue alone. Desires being increased, a man must suffer in his temporal concerns. Placing virtue before all other concerns of life, a man shineth like the sun when its splendor is great. A man devoid of virtue and of vicious soul is overtaken by ruin. Outog he may obtain the whole of this earth. Thou hast studied the Vedas, lived the life of a saintly Brahman, hast performed sacrificial rites, made charities to Brahmanas. Even remembering the highest position, thou hast also devoted thy soul for years and years to the pursuit of pleasure. He who, devoting himself excessively to the pleasures and joys of life, never employeth himself in the practice of religion's meditation, must be exceedingly miserable. His joys forsake him after his wealth is gone, and his strong instincts goad him on towards his wonted pursuit of pleasure. Similarly, he who, never having lived a continent life, forsaketh the path of virtue and committeth sin, hath no faith in existence of a world to come. Do as he is after death, he hath torment. In the world to come, whether on these be good or evil, these are in no case annihilated. These, good and evil, precede the agent. The agent is sure to follow in their path. Your work is celebrated by all as comparably to that food, savory and dainty, which is proper to be offered with reverence to the Brahmanas, the food which is offered in religious ceremonies, with large donations. our acts are done, so long as this body lasts. After death there is nothing to be done. And thou hast done mighty deeds that will do good to thee in the world to come, and they are admired by righteous men. There one is free from death and decrepitude, and fear, and from hunger and thirst, and from all that is disagreeable to the mind. There is nothing to be done in that place, unless it be to delight on senses. Of this kind is the result of our deeds. Therefore, do not from desire act any longer in this world. Do not betake to action in this world, and thereby thus take leave of truth and sobriety and candor and humanity. Thou mayest perform the Rajasuya and the Asvamedha sacrifices. Do not even come near an action which in itself is sin. If after such a length of time, ye sons of Pritha, you now give way to hate, and commit the sinful deed in vain, for virtue's sake, did ye dwell for years and years in the woods in such misery? It was in vain that you went to exile, after parting with all your arm, for this arm was entirely in your control then. And these persons who are now assisting you have been always obedient to you, this Krishna and Satyaki and Virata of the golden car of Matsya land, with his son at the head of martial warriors. All the kings formerly vanquished by you would have espoused your cause at first, possessed of mighty resources, dreaded by all, having an arm, and followed behind by Krishna and Arjuna. You might have slain your foremost of foes on the field of battle. You might have brought low Duryodhana pride. Why have you allowed your foes to grow so powerful? Why have you weakened your friends? Why have you sojourned in the woods for years and years? Why are you now desirous of fighting, having let the proper opportunity slip? An unwise or an unrighteous man may win prosperity by means of fighting, but a wise and a righteous man, were he free from pride to betake to fight, doth on fall away from a prosperous path. Your understanding inclines not to an unrighteous course. From wrath you never committed a sinful act. Then what is the cause, and what is the reason for which you are now intent to do this deed against the dictates of wisdom? Wrath is a bitter drug. It has nothing to do with disease. It brings on a disease of the head, robs one of his fair fame, and leads to sinful acts. It is drunk up by those that are righteous, and not by those that are unrighteous. I ask you to swallow it and to desist from wrath. Who would incline himself to wrath, which leads to sin? Forbearance would be more beneficial to you than love of enjoyments, where Bhishma would be slain, and Drona with his son, and Kripa and Somadatta son, and Vikarna and Vivingisati, and Karna and Duryodhana. Having slain all these, what bliss may that be, which you will get? Tell me that, even having won the entire sea-girt earth, you will never be free from decrepitude and death, pleasure and pain, bliss and misery. Knowing all these, do not be engaged in war, if you are desirous of taking this course, because your counselors desire the same. Then give up to them and run away. You should not fall away from this path which leads to the region of the gods. Yudhishthira said, without doubt, it is true that righteous deeds are the foremost of all our acts, as thou sayest. Thou shouldst, however, ensure me, having first ascertained whether it is virtue or vice that attracts you. When vice assumes the aspect of virtue, and virtue itself in whole seems as vice, and virtue again appears in its native form, They that are learned should discriminate it by means of their reason. So again, virtue and vice, which are both eternal and absolute, exchange their aspects during seasons of distress. One should follow without deviation the duties prescribed for the order to which he belongs by birth. No, that duties in seasons of distress are otherwise. When his means of living are totally gone, the man that is destitute should certainly desire those other means by which he may be able to discharge the sanctioned duties of his order. One that is not destitute of his means of living, as also one that is in distress, are both to be blamed, if they act as if the state of each were otherwise. When the Creator hath ordained expiation for those Brahmanas who, without wishing for self-destruction, betake themselves to acts not sanctioned for them, this proves that people may, in season of distress, betake to acts not ordained for the orders to which they belong. And thou shouldst regard them as worthy that adhere to the practice of their own order in usual times, as also those that do not adhere to them in season of distress. Thou shouldst censure them that act otherwise in usual times, while adhering to their ordained practice during times of distress. As regards men desiring to bring their minds under control, when they endeavor to acquire a knowledge of self, the practices that are ordained for the best, the Brahmanas are equally ordained for them. As regards those, however, that are not Brahmanas and that do not endeavor to acquire knowledge of self, those practices should be followed by them that are ordained for their respective orders in seasons of distress, or otherwise. Even that is the path followed by our fathers and grandfathers before us, and those also that had lived before them. As regards those that are desirous of knowledge and avoiding to act, even these also hold the same view and regard themselves as orthodox. I do not think that there is another path. Whatsoever wealth there may be in this earth, whatsoever there may be among the gods, or whatsoever there may be unattainable by them, the region of the Prajapati, or heaven, or the region of Brahma himself, I would not seek it by unrighteous means. Here is Krishna, the giver of virtue fruits, who is clever, politic, intelligent, who has waited upon the Brahmanas, who knows everything, and counsels various mighty kings. Let the celebrated Krishna say whether I won't be censurable if I dismiss our idea of peace, or whether if I fight I should be abandoning the duties of my caste, for Krishna seeketh the welfare of both sides. These Satyaki, these Hades, the Andihakis, the Vrishnis, the Bihojas, the Kukuras, the Srinjayas, adopting the counsels of Krishna, slay their foes and delight their friends. The Vrishnis and the Andihakas, at whose head stands Ugrasena, led by Krishna, have become like Indra, high-spirited, devoted to truth, might and happy. Vabihu, the king of Kasi, having obtained Krishna, that fructifier of wishes, as his brother, and upon whom Krishna showers all the blessings of life, as the clouds upon our earthly creatures, when the hot season is over, have attained the highest prosperity. So great is this Krishna, whom you must know as the great judge of the propriate, or otherwise of our acts. Krishna is dear to us, and is the most illustrious of men, and never disregard what Krishna saith. Krishna saith, I desire that the sons of Pandu may not be ruined, that they may prosper and attain their wishes. Similarly, I pray for the prosperity of King Dhritarashtra, whose sons are many, for evermore. My desire have been that I should tell them nothing else than that peace would be acceptable to King Dhritarashtra. I also deem it proper for the sons of Pandu. A peaceful disposition of an exceedingly hard character have been displayed by Pandu's son in this matter, when Dhritarashtra and his sons, however, are so covetous. I do not see why hostility should not run high. Thou canst not pretend to be more versed than I am or Yudhishthira is in the nice ties of right and wrong. Then why dost thou speak words of reproach with reference to the conduct of Yudhishthira, who is enterprising, mindful of his own duty, and thoughtful from the very beginning of the welfare of his family, agreeably to the injunctions? With regard to the topic at hand, the Brahmanas have held opinions of various kinds. Some say that success in the world to come depends upon work. Some declare that action should be shunned and that salvation is attainable by knowledge. The Brahmanas say that dog one may have a knowledge of eatable things, yet his hunger will not be appeased unless he actually eats. Those branches of knowledge that help the doing of work be a fruit, but not other kinds, for the fruit of work is of ocular demonstration. A thirsty person drinks water, and by that act his thirst is allayed. This result proceeds, no doubt, from work. Therein lies the efficacy of work. If anyone thinks that something else is better than work, I deem his work and his words are meaningless. In the other words, it is by virtue of work that the gods flourish. It is by work that the wind blows. It is by virtue of work that the sleepless Surya rises every day and becomes the cause of day and night, and Soma passes through the months and the fortnights, and the combinations of constellations. Fire is kindled of itself and burns by virtue of work, doing good to mankind. The sleepless goddess Earth sustains by force this very great burden. The sleepless rivers, giving satisfaction to all beings, carry their waters with speed. The sleepless Indra, possessed of a mighty force, pours down rain, sounding the heaven and the cardinal points. Desirous of being the greatest of the gods, he led a life of austerities, such as a whole Brahmana leads. Indra gave up pleasure and all things agreeably to the heart. He sedulously cherished virtue and truth and self-control and forbearance and impartiality and humanity. It was by work that he attained a position the highest. Following the above course of life, Indra attained the height of sovereignty over the gods. Vrihaspati, intently and with self-control, led in a proper manner that life of austerities which a Brahmana leads. He gave up pleasure and controlled his senses, and thereby attained the position of the preceptor of the celestials. Similarly, the constellations in the other world, by virtue of work, and the Rudras, the Adityas, the Vasus, King Yama, and Kuvera, and the Gandhiravas, the Yakishas, and the celestial nymphs are attained their present position by work. In the other world, the saints shine, following a life of study, austerity, and work. Knowing that this is the rule followed by the best of Brahmanas, and Kshatriyas, and Vaisyas, and thou being one of the wisest men, why art thou making this endeavor on behalf of those sons of Kurus? Thou must know that Yudhishthira is constantly engaged in the study of the Vedas. He is inclined to the horse sacrifice and the Rajasuya. Again, he rides horses and elephants, is arrayed in armor, mounts a car, and takes up the bow and all kinds of weapons. Now, if the sons of Pritha can see a course of action not involving the slaughter of the sons of Kuru, they won't adopt it. Their virtue won't then be saved, and an act of religion's merit also won't be achieved by them, even if they won't have then to force Bhishma to follow a conduct marked by humanity. On the other hand, if in doing what their forefathers did, they should meet with death under inevitable destiny, then in trying their utmost to discharge their duty, such death won't even be worthy of praise. Supposing thou approves of peace alone, I should like to hear what thou mayest have to say to this question. Which way doth the injunction of religion's law lie? Whether it is proper for the king to fight or not? Thou must take into thy consideration the division of the four castes, and the scheme of respective duties allotted to each. Thou must hear that course of action the Pandavas are going to adopt. Then mayst thou pass or censure, just as it may please thee. A Brahmana should stood, offer sacrifices, make charities, and sojourn to the best of our whole places on the earth. He should teach, minister as a priest in sacrifices, offered by others worthy of such help, and accept gifts from persons who are known. Similarly, a Kshatriya should protect the people in accordance with the injunctions of the law, diligently practice the virtue of charity, offer sacrifices, study whole Veda, take a wife, and lead a virtuous householder life. If he be possessed of a virtuous soul, and if he practice the whole virtues, he may easily attain the region of the Supreme Being. A Vaisya should study and diligently earn and accumulate wealth by means of commerce, agriculture, and the tending of cattle. He should so act as to please the Brahmanas and the Kshatriyas, be virtuous, do good works, and be a householder. The following are the duties declared for a Sudra from the olden times. He should serve the Brahmanas and submit to them, should not stood. Sacrifices are forbidden to him. He should be diligent and be constantly enterprising in doing all that is for his good. The king protects all these with care, and sets out the castes to perform their respective duties. He should not be given to sensual enjoyments. He should be impartial, and treat all his subjects on an equal footing. The king should never obey the dictates of such desires as are opposite to righteousness. If there be anybody who is more praiseworthy than he, who is well known and gifted with all the virtues, the king should instruct his subjects to see him. A bad, however, would not understand this, growing strong and inhuman, and becoming a mark for destiny wrath. He won't cast covetous eye on the riches of others. Then comes war, for which purpose came into being weapons and armor and bows. Indra invented these contrivances for putting the plunderers to death. He contrived armors and weapons and bows. Religion's merit is secured by putting the robbers to death. Many awful evils have manifested themselves on account of the Kurus, having been unrighteous and unmindful of law and religion. This is not right. Now, King Dhritarashtra with his sons have unreasonably seized what lawfully belonged to Pandu's son. He minds not the immemorial law observable by kings. All the Kurus are following in the wake. A thief who steals wealth unseen, and one who forcibly seizes the same in open daylight, are both to be condemned. What is the difference between them and the Dhritarashtra's sons? From avarice he regards that to be righteous which he intends to do, following the dictates of his wrath. The shares of the Pandavas is, no doubt, fixed. Why should that share of theirs be seized by that fool? This being the state of things, it won't be praiseworthy for us to be even killed in fact. A paternal kingdom is preferable to sovereign it received from a stranger. These time-honored rules of law thou must propound to the chorus, in the midst of the assembled kings. I mean those two-headed fools who have been assembled together by the Dhritarashtra son, and who are already under the clutches of death. Look once more at that vilest of all their acts, the conduct of the chorus in the council hall. That those chorus, at whose head stood Bhishma, did not interfere when the beloved wife of the sons of Pandu, daughter of Drupada, of fair fame, pure life, and conduct worthy of praise, was seized, while weeping, by that slave of lust. The chorus, all, including young and old, were present there. If they had then prevented that indignity offered to her, then I should have been pleased with the Dhritarashtra behavior. It would have been for the final good of his sons also. Dusasana forcibly took Krishna into the midst of the public hall, wherein were seated her fathers-in-law. Carried there, expecting sympathy, she found none to take her part, except Vidura. The kings uttered not a word of protest, solely because they were a set of imbeciles. Vidura alone spoke words of opposition, from a sense of duty, was conceived in righteousness, addressed to that man of little sense. Thou didst not, then, say what law and morality were. Now thou comest to instruct the son of Pandu. Krishna, however, having repaired to the hall at that time, made everything right, for like a vessel in the sea, she rescued the Pandavas as also herself from that gathering ocean. Then in that hall, while Krishna stood, the Charioteer son addressed her in the presence of her fathers-in-law, saying, Thou hast no refuge. Better betake thyself as a bondwoman to the house of Dhritarashtra son. Thy husbands, being defeated, no longer exist. Thou hast a loving soul. Choose someone else for thy lord. This speech, proceeding from Karna, was a worthy arrow, sharp, cutting all hopes, hitting the tenderest parts of the organization, and frightful. It buried itself deep in Arjuna's heart. When the sons of Pandu were about to adopt the garments made of the skins of black deer, Dusasana spoke the following pungent words. These are our menial eunuchs, ruined and damned for a length and time. And Sakuni, the king of the Gandhara land, spoke to Yudhishthira at the time of the game of dice, the following words by way of a wheel trick. Nakula hath been won by me from you. What else have you got? Now you should better stake your wife Draupadi. You know all these words of an opprobrious kind, which were spoken at the time of the game of dice. I desire to go personally to the Kurus, in order to settle this difficult matter. If, without injury to the Pandava cause, I succeed in bringing about this peace with the Kurus, an act of religious merit, resulting in very great blessings, will then have been done by me, and the Kurus also will have been extricated from the meshes of death. I hope that, when I shall speak to the Kurus words of wisdom, resting on rules of righteousness, was fraught with sense and free from all tendency to inhumanity, the Dhritarashtra son will, in my presence, pay heed to them. I hope that, when I arrive, the Kurus will pay me due respect, else thou mayst have assured that those vicious sons of Dhritarashtra, already scorched by their own vicious act, will be burnt up by Arjuna and Bhishma ready for battle. When Pandu's sons were defeated, Dhritarashtra's sons, he spoke to them words that were harsh and rude. When the time will come, Bhishma will, no doubt, take care to remind Duryodhana of those words. Duryodhana is a big tree of evil passions. Karna is its trunk. Sakuni is its branches. Dusasana forms its abundant blossoms and fruits. The wise king Dhritarashtra is its roots. Yudhishthira is a big tree of righteousness. Arjuna is its trunk, and Bhishma is its branches. The sons of Madri are its abundant flowers and fruits, and its roots are myself, and religion, and religious men. King Dhritarashtra with his sons constitutes a forest, while the sons of Pandu are its tigers. Do not cut down the forest with its tigers, and let not the tigers be driven away from the forest. The tiger out of the woods is easily slain. The wood also that is without a tiger is easily cut down. Therefore it is the tiger that protects the forest, and the forest that shelters the tiger. The Dhritarashtras are as creepers, while the Pandavas are sala trees. A creeper can never flourish unless it have a large tree to twine round. The sons of Pritha are ready to wait upon Dhritarashtra. Those oppressors of foes are ready for war. Let King Dhritarashtra now do what may be proper for him to do. The virtuous and the high-souled sons of Pandu, though competent to be engaged in fight, are yet now in peace. Represent all these truly. Sanjaya said, I did thee farewell. I will now depart. Let prosperity be thine. I hope I have not, carried away by the feelings of my heart, given utterance to anything offensive. I would also bid farewell to Janardana, to Bhishma and Arjuna, to the son of Madri, to Satyaki, and to Hakitana, and take my departure. Let peace and happiness be yours. Let all the kings look at me with eyes of affection. Yudhishthira said, Permitted by us, take your leave. Peace to thee. Thou never thinkest ill of us. Both they and we know thee to be a person of poor heart in the midst of our court. Besides being an ambassador now, thou art faithful, beloved by us, of agreeable speech and excellent conduct, and well affected toward us. Thy mind is never clouded, and even if addressed harshly, thou art never moved to wrath. Thou never utterest harsh and cutting words, or those that are false or bitter. We know that thy words, free from malice, are always fraught with morality and grave import. Amongst envoys thou art the most dear to us. Beside thee, there is another who may come here, and that is Vidura. Formerly we always used to see thee. Thou art a friend to us as dear as the Dhananjaya. Proceeding hence with all speed, thou showest wait upon those Brahmanas of poor energy and devoted to stud according to the Brahmacharya mode. Those, namely, that are devoted to the stud of the Vedas while leading lives of mendicants, those ascetics that habitually dwell in the woods, as also the aged ones of other classes, should all be addressed by thee in my name, and then their welfare should be inquired into by thee, appearing unto the priest of King Dhritarashtra, as also unto his preceptors and Hitiviges. Thou shouldst address them and inquire after their welfare. Even amongst them that are, though not well born, at least aged, endowed with energy, and possessed of good behavior and strength, who remembering speak of us and practice according to their might, even the least virtue should first be formed of my peace. And then shouldst thou inquire after their welfare. Thou shouldst inquire after the welfare of those that live in the kingdom carrying on trade, and those that live there filling important offices of state. Our beloved preceptor Drona, who is full versed in morality, who is our counselor, who had practiced the Brahmacharya vow for mastering the Vedas, who once again have made the science of weapons full and complete, and who is always graciously inclined towards us, should be greeted by thee in our name. Thou shouldst inquire into the welfare of Aswati Haman, and read with great learning, devoted to the study of the Vedas, leading the Brahmacharya mode of life, possessed of great activity, and like unto a youth of the Gandhara race, and who, besides, have once again made the science of weapons full and complete. Thou must repair to the abode of Kripa, the son of Sivaradivat, that might warrior and foremost of all persons having a knowledge of self, and repeatedly saluting him in my name, touch his feet with thy hand. Thou shouldst, touching his feet, represent me as Hal unto that foremost of the Kurus, Bhisma, in whom are combined bravery and abstention from injury, and asceticism, and wisdom, and good behavior, and Vedic learning, and great excellence, and firmness. Saluting unto the wise, venerable, and blind king, who possessed of great learning, and reverential to the old, is the leader of the Kurus. Thou shouldst inquire about the welfare of the heirs of Dhritarashtra's sons, Suryodhana, who is wicked and ignorant, and deceitful and vicious, and who now governs the entire world. Thou shouldst inquire about the welfare of even the wicked Dusasana, that might bowman and hero among the Kurus, who is the younger of Duryodhana, and who possesses a character like that of his elder brother. Thou shouldst salute the wise chief of the Valhikas, who always cherishes no other wish save that there should be peace among the Bharatas. I think thou shouldst worship that Somadatta, who is endowed with numerous excellent qualities, who is wise and possesses a merciful heart, and who from his affection for the Kurus always controls his anger towards them. The son of Somadatta is worthy of the greatest reverence among the Kurus. He is my friend and is a brother to us, a mighty bowman and the foremost of car warriors. He is worthy in all respects. Thou shouldst inquire after his welfare, along with that of his friends and counsellors. Others there are of youthful age and of consideration amongst the Kurus, who bear a relationship to us like that of sons, grandsons, and brothers. Unto each of these thou must speak words which thou mayest consider suitably, inquiring after his welfare. Thou must inquire about the welfare of those kings that have been assembled by Dhritarashtra's son for fighting with the Pandavas, the Kekayas, the Vasatis, the Salvakas, the Anvastihas, and the leading Trigartas, and of those endowed with great bravery, that have come from the east, the north, the south, and the west, and of those that have come from hill countries, in fact, of all amongst them that are not cruel, and that lead good lives. Thou shouldst represent unto all those persons who ride on elephants, and horses, and cars, and who fight on foot, that might host composed of honorable men, that I am well, and then thou must inquire about their own welfare. Thou must inquire about the welfare of those that serve the king in the matter of his revenue, or as his doorkeepers, or as the leaders of his troops, or as the accountants of his income and outlay, or as officers constantly occupied in looking after other important concerns. Thou must inquire about the welfare of Dhritarashtra's son by his Vaisya wife, that youthful who is one of the best of the Kuru race, who never falls into error, who possesseth vast wisdom, who is endowed with every virtue, and who never cherishes a liking for this war. Thou shouldst ask about the welfare of Hitrasena, who is unrivaled in the trick of dice, whose tricks are never detected by others, who plays well, who is well vested in the art of handling the dice, and who is unconquerably in play, but not in fight. Thou must inquire about the welfare of Sakuni, the king of the Gandhiharas, that native of the hill country, who is unrivaled in the faithful games at dice, who enhances the pride of the Dhritarashtra son, and whose understanding naturally leads to falsehood. Thou must inquire about the welfare of Karna, the son of Vrikartarna, that hero who is ready to vanquish, alone and unassisted, mounted on his car, the Pandavas whom no one dares assail impatiently, that Karna who is unparalleled in deluding those that are already deluded. Thou must inquire about the welfare of Vidyura, who alone is devoted to us, who is our instructor, who heareth us, who is our father and mother and friend, whose understanding finds obstruction in naught, whose ken reaches far, and who is our counselor. Thou must salute all the aged dames, and those who are known to be possessed of merit, and those who are like mothers to us, meeting them gathered together in one place. Thou must tell them these words at first. Ye mothers of living sons, I hope your sons comfort themselves towards you in a kindly, considerate, and worthy way. Thou must then tell them that Yudhishthira is doing well with his sons. Those ladies who are in the rank of our wives, thou must ask as to their welfare, addressing them in these words. I hope you are well protected. I hope your fair fame have suffered no injury. I hope you are dwelling within your abodes blamelessly and careful. I hope you are comforting yourselves towards your fathers-in-law in a kindly, praiseworthy, and considerate way. You must steadily adopt such a conduct for yourselves as will help you to win your husband's favor. Those young ladies who bear a relationship to us like that of your daughters-in-law, who have been brought from high families, who are possessed of merit, and who are mothers of children. Thou must meet them all and tell them that Yudhishthira sent his kindly greetings to them. Thou must embrace the doctors of your house, and must ask them about their welfare on my behalf. Thou must tell them, may your husbands be kindly and agreeably, may you be agreeably to your husbands, may you have ornaments and clothes and perfumery and cleanliness, and may you be happy and have at your command the joys of life. May your looks be pretty and words pleasant. Thou must ask the women of the house as to their welfare. Thou must represent unto the maidservants and menservants there may be of the chorus, and also the many hump-backed and lame ones among them, that I am doing well, and thou must then ask them about their welfare. Thou must tell them, I hope the Dhritarashtra son still vouchsafes the same kindly treatment to you. I hope he gives you the comforts of life. Thou must represent unto those that are defective in limb, those that are imbecile, the dwarfs to whom the Dhritarashtra gives food and raiment from motives of humanity, those that are blind, and all those that are aged, as also to the many that have the use on of their hands, being destitute of legs, that I am doing well, and that I ask them regarding their welfare, addressing them in the following words. Fear not, nor be dispirited on account of your unhappy lives, so full of suffering. No doubt, sins must have been committed by you in your former lives. When I shall check my foes and delight my friends, I shall satisfy you by gifts of food and clothes. Thou shalt, at our request, inquire after the welfare of those that are masterless and weak, and of those that vainly strive to earn a living, and of those that are ignorant, in fact, of all those persons that are in pitiable circumstances. Meeting those others, coming from different quarters, have sought the protection of the Dharatarashtra's, and in fact, all who deserve our greetings. Thou shalt inquire about their welfare and peace. Thou shalt inquire about the welfare of those who have come to the Kurus of their own accord, or who have been invited, as also of all the ambassadors arrived from all sides, and then represent unto them that I am well. As regards the warriors that have been obtained by the Dhritarashtra's son, there are none equal to them on earth. Virtue, however, is eternal, and virtue is my power for the destruction of my enemies. Thou shalt represent unto Suyoddhana, the son of Dhritarashtra, the following: that desire of thine which torments thy heart, the desire of ruling the Kurus without a rival, is very unreasonable. It had no justification. As for ourselves, we will never act in such a way as to do anything that may be disagreeable to thee. Either give me back my own Indra Prastha, or fight with me. Yudhishthira said, the righteous and the unrighteous, the young and the old, the weak and the strong, are all under the control of the Creator. It is that Supreme Lord who imparteth knowledge to the skilled and skilledness to the learned, according to his own will. If the Dhritarashtra ask thee about our strength, tell him everything truly, having carefully consulted with everyone here and ascertained the truth. Repairing unto the Kurus, thou wilt salute the mighty Dhritarashtra, and touching his feet, inquire after his welfare, speaking in our name. And when seated in the midst of the Kurus, tell him from us, the sons of Pandu are living happily in consequence of thy prowess. It was through thy grace that those children of tender years had obtained a kingdom. Having first bestowed a kingdom on them, thou shalt not now be indifferent to them, for destruction then would overtake them. The whole of this kingdom is not fit to be owned by one person. Tell him again from us, we wish to live united. Do not suffer thyself to be vanquished by foes. Thou shalt again, bending thy head, in my name salute the great sire of the Biharatas, Bhisma, the son of Santanu. Having saluted our great sire, he should then be told, by thee, when Santanu haste was about to be extinct, it was revived. Therefore, do that according to thy own judgment, by which thy grandsons may all live in amity with one another. Thou shalt then address Vidura, that adviser of the Kurus, saying, conserve peace, from desire of doing good unto Yudhishthira. Thou shalt address the unforbearing Prince Duryodhana, when seated in the midst of the Kurus, besieging him again and again, saying, the insults thou hast offered to innocent and helpless Draupadi in the midst of the assembly, we will quietly bear, simply because we have no mind to see the Kurus slain. The other injures, also, both before and after that, the sons of Pandu are quietly bearing, although they are possessed of might to avenge them. All this the Kauravas know. Thou hast even exceeded us dressed in deer skins. We are wearing that also because we do not want to see the Kurus slain. Dusasana, in obedience to thee, had dragged Krishna, disregarding Kunti. That act will be forgiven by us. We must have our proper share of the kingdom. Turn thy coveting heart from what belongeth to others. Peace then will be amongst or glad than itself. We are desirous of peace. Give us even a single province of the empire. Give us even Kusastihala, Vrikastihala, Makandi, Varanavata, and for the fifth, in order that thou likest, even these will end the quarrel. Give unto thy 5 brothers at least 5 villages. Let there be peace between us and our cousins. Tell him also, let brothers follow brothers, let sires unite with sons, let the Pankhalas mingle with the Kurus in merry laughter, that I may see the Kurus and the Pankhalas unwhole and sound, is what I desire. With cheerful hearts let us make peace. I am equally capable of war and peace. I am prepared to acquire wealth as well as to earn virtue. I am fit enough for severity as for softness. Dismissed with salutation by the Pandavas, Sanjaya set out for, having executed all the commands of the illustrious Dhritarashtra. Reaching Hastinapura, he quickly entered it, and presented himself at the gate of the inner apartments of the palace. Addressing the porter, he said, Say unto Dhritarashtra that I, Sanjaya, have just arrived, coming from the sons of Pandu. Do not delay. If the king be awake, then on shouldst thou say so, for I like to enter, having first apprised him of my arrival. In the present instance, I have something of very great importance to communicate. Hearing this, the gatekeeper went to the king and addressing him, saying, Sanjaya is at thy gates, desirous of seeing thee. He cometh bearing a message from the Pandavas. Ensue your commands as to what he should do. The king said, Tell Sanjaya that I am happy in hall. Let him enter. Welcome to Sanjaya. I am always ready to receive him. Why should he stay outside whose admission is never forbidden? Then, with the king's permission, having entered that spacious apartment, the Sultan's son, with joined hands, approached the royal son of Vikhitraviriya, who was protected by many wise, valiant, and righteous persons, and who was then seated on his throne. And Sanjaya addressed him, saying, I am Sanjaya, I bow unto thee. Proceeding hence, I found the sons of Pandu. After having paid his salutations to thee, Pandu's son, the intelligent Yudhishthira, inquired of thy welfare, and well pleased he inquireth after thy sons, and asketh thee whether thou art happy with thy sons and grandsons, and friends and counselors, and all those that depend upon thee. Dhritarashtra said, Giving my blessings to Ajatasattu, I ask thee whether that king of the Kauravas, Pritha's son, is well with his sons and brothers and counselors. Sanjaya said, Pandu's son is well with his counselors. He desires possessions of that which he formerly had as his own. He seeketh virtue and wealth without doing anything that is censurable, possesseth intelligence and vast learning, and is, besides, far-sighted and of excellent disposition. With that son of Pandu, abstention from injury is even superior to virtue, and virtue superior to the accumulation of wealth. His mind is always inclined to happiness and joy, and to such course of action as are virtuous and conducive to the higher ends of life. Even like thou pulled this way and that by triads, man moveth swayed by force not his own. Beholding the sufferings of Yudhishthira, I regard the force of destiny to be superior to the effect of human exertion. Beholding again thy unworthy deeds, which, besides being highly sinful and unspeakably, are sure to terminate in misery, it seemeth to me that, one of thy nature winneth praise only so long as his ably forbideth his time, announcing all sin, even as a serpent casteth off its worn out, slag which it cannot any longer attain. The heroic Ajatasatru shineth in his natural perfection, leaving his load of things to be borne by thee. Consider thy own acts, which are contrary to both religion and prophecy, and to the behavior of those that are righteous. Thou hast earned a bad repute in this world, and wilt heap misery in the next. Obeying the counsels of thy son, thou hopest to enjoy this doubtful property, keeping them aloft. This unrighteous deed is loudly bruited about in the world. Therefore, this deed is unworthy of thee. Calamity overtaketh him who is deficient in wisdom, or who is of low birth, or who is cruel, or who cherisheth hostility for a long time, or who is not steered in Kshatriya virtues, or is devoid of energy, or is of a bad disposition. In fact, him who hath such marks. It is by virtue of luck that a person taketh his birth in a good haste, or becometh strong, or famous, or versed in various lore, or possesseth the comforts of life, or becometh capable of subduing his senses, or discriminating virtue and vice that are always linked together. What person is there who, attended upon by foremost of counselors, possessed of intelligence, capable of discriminating between virtue and vice in times of distress, not destitute of the rituals of religion, and attaining the use of all his faculties, won't commit cruel deeds? These counselors, ever devoted to thy work, wait here united together. Even this is their firm determination. The destruction of the Kurus, therefore, is certain to be brought about by the force of circumstances. If provoked by the offences, Yudhishthira wisheth for misery to thee, then Kurus will be destroyed prematurely, while imparting all his sins to thee. The blame of that deed will be thine in this world. What else is there save the will of the gods? For Arjuna, the son of Pritha, leaving this world, ascended to the very heavens, and was honored there very greatly. This proves that individual exertion is nothing. There is no doubt as to this, seeing that the attributes of high birth, bravery, depended for their development or otherwise on acts, and beholding prosperity and adversity and stability and instability, King Vali, in his search after causes, having failed to discover a beginning, regarded the eternal essence to be the cause of everything. The eye, the ear, the nose, the touch, and the tongue, these are the doors of a person's knowledge. If desire be curbed, these won't be gratified themselves. Therefore, shall fully and without heaping on should control the senses. Others there are that think differently. They hold that, if a person's acts are well applied, these must produce the desired result. Thus the child begot by the act of the mother and the father grows when duly tended with food and drink. Many in this world become subject to love and hate, pleasure and pain, praise and blame. A man is praised when he behaves honestly. The blame, since this dissension of the Bharatas will surely bring about the destruction of innumerable lives. If peace be not concluded, then through thy fault Arjuna will consume the Kurus like a blazing fire, consuming a heap of dried grass. Thou alone of all the world, yielding to thy son, whom no restraints can bind, hast regarded thyself as crowned with success, and abstained from avoiding dispute at the time of the match at dice. Behold now the fruit of that, rejecting adversaries that are faithful and accepting those that deserve no confidence. This extensive and prosperous empire thou art unable to retain owing to thy weakness. Wearied by my fast journey, and very much fatigued, I solicit thy permission to go to bed now, For tomorrow morning will the Kurus, assembled together in the council hall, hear the words of Ajatasattu,